Today's topic is glucose tolerance test. First, we see what is glucose tolerance. What do you mean by glucose tolerance? So, it is the ability of the body to utilize glucose in blood circulation. So, whatever glucose present in blood circulation, the body should manage to utilize that by absorbing and utilizing. The glucose tolerance test is the most sensitive test for detecting borderline diabetes mellitus. It is the most common use of glucose tolerance test. It is indicated by the nature of blood glucose curve following the administration of glucose. Thus, GTT is a valuable diagnostic aid in the diagnosis of diabetes mellitus, insulin resistance, impaired beta cell function, and sometimes reactive hypoglycemia and acromegaly. So, it is one of the entity in Hello. Apart from the fasting blood glucose, postprandial blood glucose, it is one of the main tests is glucose tolerance test for diabetic profile. So it is ability of the body to utilize glucose in blood circulation. Now types of glucose tolerance test. Depending upon the route of glucose administration, there are two main types. Oral glucose tolerance test, also called as OGTT, and intravenous glucose tolerance test, that is IVGTT. There are two more glucose tolerance test according to the sample type, that is extended glucose tolerance test and mini glucose tolerance test. Here the route of administration is oral, but they are differ in the sampling. First we see the indication of oral glucose tolerance test. It is indicated in patients with transient or sustained glycosuria. That is, if patient is having no signs and symptoms of diabetes with normal fasting and postprandial blood glucose. Second, it is also indicated that the patient is having symptoms of diabetes but with no glycosuria and normal fasting blood glucose level. In the first, there is no signs and symptoms of diabetes with normal fasting and postprandial blood sugar, but there is transient or sustained glycosuria. In second, there is symptoms of diabetes, but no glycosuria, and the lab investigations are normal. Normal fasting blood glucose level is there. Third indication is strong family history, but no overt symptoms. It is also indicated in patients who are having glycosuria associated with thyrotoxicosis, infections, sepsis, liver disease, and pregnancy. Women who have a history of stillbirth, premature birth, or characteristically large babies. These patients are also indicated to do glucose tolerance test. In patients who are having neuropathies or retinopathies of undetermined origin, then patients with or without symptoms of diabetes showing one abnormal value, or there will be delayed wound healing, especially on the lower leg or feet. So these are the patients in which glucose tolerance test is indicated. What are the prerequisites for oral glucose tolerance test? Patient should be advised that he should be on the normal carbohydrate diet at least for 3 days prior to the test. So once the patient come to you showing the requisition of oral glucose tolerance test, you should advise that he or she should be on normal carbohydrate diet at least 3 days prior to the test. Then he or she should take usual diet at about 8 p.m. previous day of the test and does not eat or drink anything after that. Next day morning, if so desire, a cup of tea or coffee without sugar or milk can be taken. No other food or drink is permitted. Patient should be on complete mental and physical rest. No exercise is allowed before the test. No smoking. Then all sample of the blood should be venous preferably. You have to take venous blood. Now procedure. A fasting sample of venous blood is collected in fluoride blood. The bladder is emptied completely. For 1 hour, 1.5, 2 hour and 2.5 hours. So all these make 5 sample plus 1 fasting sample. Glucose content of all the 6 including fasting sample of blood are estimated and corresponding urine sample are tested qualitatively for presence of glucose and ketone bodies. Then a curve is plotted which is called as glucose tolerance curve. This table is showing readings of all the 6 samples and urine glucose. Urine glucose is absent on all the 6 samples and these are the readings of all 6 samples. This type of graph is plotted. On x-axis, time is plotted, on y-axis, blood glucose levels are plotted. So this type of curve is called as glucose tolerance curve. Next is intravenous GTT. Indications are, it is preferred when there are abnormalities in absorption in sprue and celiac disease. So these are the 3 main indications for intravenous glucose tolerance test. A glucose load of 0.5 gram per kg of body weight is used. Glucose is administered intravenously over 30 minutes using 20% glucose solution. And rest of the procedure for collection of the blood and urine is similar to the oral glucose tolerance test. Before giving the glucose load, we have to collect the fasting sample and fasting urine, and after that, half hourly blood sample and urine sample is collected. Next entity is extended glucose tolerance test. In this, instead of ending at 2.5 hours after taking glucose, half hourly blood sugars are done for a period of up to 4 to 5 hours. So instead of ending at 2.5 hours, it is up to 4 to 5 hours. It is indicated in patients of partial gastrectomy and patients with islet cell tumor that may have attacks suggesting hypoglycemia some 2 to 3 hours after the food. So these are the 2 main indications for extended glucose tolerance test. Next entity is mini glucose tolerance test. As per current WHO recommendation, In the mini glucose tolerance test, only 2 samples are collected. This is to avoid the too much pricking to the patient. Fasting sample is taken and 2-hour post-glucose load sample is taken. Urine sample are also collected during the same time. The diagnosis is made from the variations observed in these results. So types of glucose tolerance curve. 3 types of glucose tolerance curves are there. One is normal glucose tolerance curve, decreased glucose tolerance, and increased glucose tolerance. We will see one by one. Normal glucose tolerance curve. In this, initial fasting glucose is within the normal fasting level. It is 70 to 100 milligram percent. Blood glucose level rises to a peak, that is up to 120 to 140 milligram percent at half to 1 hour after ingestion of glucose. The blood glucose level then return rapidly to the fasting normal limit in about 2 hours. Glucose should not be present in any of the urine specimen collected for 2 hours. These are the requisites for normal glucose tolerance curve. First, the fasting sample should come within normal range, that is within 70 to 100 milligram. There is peak after ingestion of glucose solution, but that should be below 180, that is below the renal threshold. So blood glucose level rises to a peak up to 120 to 140 milligram percent at half to 1 hour. This is the normal peak, normal phenomenon after taking the glucose load. Then it should come to normal within 2 hours. And none of the urine samples should be positive for the glucose. So all the 6 samples should be negative for the sugar, urine sugar. This is the tabular representation. Urine glucose is absent in all the 6 samples. Fasting glucose is 75, that is below 100. 1 hour it is 130. At half hour it is 130, and at 1 hour it is 150. That is below the renal threshold. And after that, glucose level are coming down. At 1.5 hour it is 100. 2 hours 65. 2.5 hour 65. It is below the. It is within the normal range, normal fasting range. So with this reading, this type of graph is plotted. This is the fasting, approximately 75. At half hour, 1 hour is 150, below the renal threshold. Then after that, it is coming down to normal. This type of graph is called normal glucose tolerance test. You have to see the fasting level, then peak, and within 2 to 2.5 hours, it should come to normal range. Next is decreased glucose tolerance. Decreased glucose tolerance means decreased ability of the body to utilize glucose. In decreased glucose tolerance, fasting glucose is higher than the normal limit. The blood glucose level rises above 180 milligram per 100 ml, that is above the renal threshold after ingestion of glucose. The blood glucose remain high for a longer time and may not return to fasting level even after 3 hours. And fourth thing is the urine sample corresponding to the blood glucose level over 180 milligram per 100 ml may show urine Benedict test positive. This is glycosuria. So there are 4 things. One is fasting glucose is higher. Second, there is a peak. There is a peak at half to 1 hour, and that is above the renal threshold, above the 180 milligram per 100 ml. And third, the glucose remain high for a longer time and may not return to fasting level even after 3 hours. And fourth, The urine sample shows the urine sample is positive for the blood glucose. This is the graph representing decreased glucose tolerance. You can see fasting is above the normal range, that is above 100. Peak at 1 hour is 250, above the renal threshold, and slowly it comes down, but not up to the normal range. So it takes a longer time to return back to the normal, more than 2.5 hours. And at 2.5 hours, it is above 180. So this graph is showing decreased glucose tolerance. Decreased glucose tolerance occur in diabetes mellitus and certain endocrine disorders like hyperthyroidism, hyperpituitarism, hyperadrenalism, like Cushing syndrome. Next entity is increased glucose tolerance. It means increased ability of the body to utilize glucose. The body utilizes glucose very fast. So in this, fasting blood glucose is lower than the normal. A small rise in blood glucose level is observed, not more than 100 milligram, even after glucose administration. A flatter type of curve is obtained, and there is no appearance of glucose in the urine. This type of curve is obtained in endocrine hypoactivity, like hypothyroidism, example myxedema, cretinism, hypoadrenalism, example Addison's disease, hypopituitarism. So these are some disorders in which you can see the increased glucose tolerance. You have to differentiate increased glucose tolerance with the normal glucose tolerance curve, because in normal also the fasting glucose is lower. Okay, in normal it is within 70 to 100. In increased glucose tolerance it is below 70. Then at half hour there is a peak up to 150, that is below 180. It is also below 180, but it is at 90 only. And after that the levels are decreasing, so it shows a little bit flatter type of curve. You can see both the curves, all the three curves in one diagram. This green is showing the normal glucose tolerance. Fasting sample is between 70 to 100. Peak is about 140, below the renal threshold, and after that it comes down to normal within 2 to 2.5 hours. This is normal glucose tolerance curve. Second is fasting is above the fasting limit, approximately 140. Peak is at half to 1 hour. It is approximately 240. It is above the renal threshold. Then it comes down, but not below the renal threshold at 2 hours. So these all four sample will show the urine glucose positive. So this decreased glucose tolerance occur in diabetes mellitus and endocrine hyperactivity. Next is increased glucose tolerance. Here fasting sample is approximately 60, below the limit of fasting. Fasting limit is 70 to 100, it is below that. Then peak at half hour, it is below 100, and then it comes down to again up to the mark of 60 at 2 hour. So it is little bit a flatter type of curve. This peak is not there even after the glucose ingestion. So it is increased glucose tolerance seen in endocrine hypoactivity. You have to differentiate all three curves. In the spotting, these types of curves have been asked. reading is there, you have to plot the graph and identify which type of curve is there. Next is lag glucose tolerance curve. Here fasting blood glucose is normal. After ingestion, there is temporary rise in blood glucose due to delay in insulin mechanism coming in action. Then it returns to normal limit in usual time. Peak is above normal renal threshold level. So in lag curve, there is action of the insulin is delayed. So fasting sample is normal, but the peak is above the renal threshold because insulin comes into the action very late. So the second or peak will be the above the renal threshold, and rest of the things are like normal glucose tolerance curve. So this main is the differentiating point between the normal GTT and lag curve. In normal GTT, this is below the renal threshold. In lag curve, it is above the renal threshold because insulin comes into the action very late. So at this point, mean sugar will comes positive. Now, what are the significance of glucose tolerance test? GTT is most important investigation for asymptomatic hypoglycemia or glycosuria, such as renal glycosuria and alimentary glycosuria. It is also useful in diagnosis of inherited renal tubular defect. Next, it is helpful in endocrine dysfunction and also helpful in recognizing the milder cases. Contraindications. In proven cases of diabetes mellitus, the test is not required because it has a main indication that it is indicated in subclinical diabetes or overt diabetes, where you cannot have a confirmed diagnosis of diabetes. Next, GTT is required only in doubtful cases. It is not recommended for follow-up of the patient. Patient with serious concurrent infection or endocrine disorder, because glucose intolerance will be observed even though this patient may not be diabetic. So these are the three contraindications for GTT.